What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of The Adventures of an Entrepreneur, where we bring successful entrepreneurs that talk about their challenges and their wins and gives us tips and strategies and tactics, whether you work for someone else and you're thinking about launching your own business, whether you own your own business and you're just trying to scale it, or whether you own multiple businesses and you want to add more businesses, or just create better leverage. So super excited. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe because you guys are about to get into it with one of the coolest people you'll ever meet. I'm super excited to bring in Ruly from Ruly Landscapes. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Bryan? Thanks for the invite.
Of course, Ruly, you know I've always loved you. And I think what's really important is I want everyone to know your background. So what's your background? Where'd you grow up? How'd you get here in Northern Virginia?
Yep. Well, I got here about 35 years ago. I am originally from Bolivia, South America.
Okay.
And I live here with my wife, my 3 kids, 7 grandkids. I don't know if you knew that
I
part
did
about
not
me.
know that.
7 grandkids. Hopefully my 14-year-old will help us this summer doing some hard work. So that's about me.
How old are the 3 kids?
They are 27, 37, and 39.
Okay, Ruly, if you don't mind me asking, you do not look old enough to have grandkids. Okay, kids for sure. How old are you?
I am 57.
57,
So
okay.
I started very early.
Okay.
I'm sure you were about to say that.
Absolutely. Tell me real quick, what is Ruly Landscapes? What do you guys do? Where do you guys focus? What areas you guys serve? Tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yes, Rulyscapes is a commercial and residential landscaping company, and we focus in Northern Virginia. We do a lot of residential, but commercially we'll go basically all over Northern Virginia, as well as the residential part. And we do the mowing, mulching, spring cleanups, design, build. If you want to build an staycation in your backyard and not travel much, we can do an outdoor kitchen. We can do a nice patio with some seating area. You can also do a court. You know, if you have kids,
yeah,
that's what I had to do with my daughter when she started playing basketball. She wanted a basketball hoop, and we started doing that as well. So we now are into pickleball courts because more than basketball courts or tennis courts, it's pickleball courts.
We're gonna definitely get into pickleball in a minute, but every time I see you, you're always wearing orange. What's orange represent? Every time I've never seen you not wear orange. Orange is the new? What is it? What?
That's funny you ask because when I first started the business some 20 years ago, I joined a networking group and they used to call me the orange guy. And I think we picked orange because it's a safety color.
Safe color.
Safety color.
Okay.
So that's why I had all the crews wearing orange and had a big number in the arm. Some of the employees don't speak English, so customers will ask him, that's the orange guy, okay, and they were like, I need to talk to you, and if they didn't understand, they will go,
that's
just
awesome.
show the number on the arm.
Really, how'd you start? How'd you get into business? Because that's something you don't usually hear, but what was what made you start Rulyscapes?
I can tell you that I think I opened my first business. As you know, I started early in my family part.
Yes.
So I had my own business when I was 17 years old, still in high school. I had 6 people working for me at a store and things like that. Then when I moved to the U.S., that was my goal. I will start a business. And then I had the opportunity to start a international trade business.
Okay.
I sold it about 20-something years ago, and I was going to buy a franchise. And I looked at a cleaning company or painting company or one of those or with control franchise. And at that time my sister had a landscaping company. So she mentioned, why don't you start a landscaping company? That way you don't pay those fees, all that stuff. And that's what I did. That's how I started. I went from international trade to a service industry company.
So your sister owned a landscaping company, not here.
Actually, yes, in Northern Virginia, in Alexandria.
In Alexandria.
So we kind of divided Northern Virginia at the beginning, but she sold already her company.
What made you come to the States?
I think It's funny you asked that too, because I came representing Bolivia at a Pan Am tournament, racquetball tournament. And then I saw how is everything here in the States, and I was like, wow, this is great. Not only, I can start a family, a business, and my kids will have the opportunity to go to such a nice schools, to college and that. So I was like, this is it. I gotta stay here.
So you saw opportunity.
Exactly.
And so it's interesting. I think people and I was born and raised here, right? And I think sometimes being born and raised here, we as Americans, we as people that are just from here, don't really understand all the opportunity that's afforded to us and all the opportunity that we just get a chance to either discover, uncover, pursue. You saw it from being in a racquetball Pan Am tournament, being very successful in racquetball, that brought you over and opened your eyes to say, oh my gosh, look at the opportunities here. Like, this is awesome. And one of your main goals was to start your own business. It wasn't to work for someone else. It was to start your own business.
Exactly.
How'd you come up with Rulyscapes, the name?
Well, my nickname is Ruly.
Okay. What's your legal name? What's your official name? Raul. Yep.
Ruly Berrios.
Yep.
And my nickname, since I can remember, I think my grandma gave me that nickname, is Ruly.
Okay.
So the 2-3 business before this, like my international trade business, was Ruly Trade. The business I started in Bolivia was commercial Ruly. So I had always, thinking, and then it's funny because now one of our taglines is "We make unruly homes Ruly," and it worked.
That's good.
It worked on the name, my nickname. So that's how we came up with Rulyscapes.
So starting the business, you went ahead and said, I'm going to start a landscaping business because my sister has one. And then it was like, okay, so like, what was the very first step you took when you said, I'm committing, I'm going to start my own landscape business?
The first one was to learn more about it. I had no idea how this business, how these industries in general. So the first one was, okay, I have to learn, I have to see what's behind this whole thing. I have to differentiate myself from other companies, right? How am I going to break into the market? And that's where that networking group that I joined helped me a lot.
So for you, it was, okay, I know that there's a lot of competition in landscaping. I need to identify what can help me differentiate myself. Instead of going ahead and putting a lot of ads out or doing a lot of mailers or going door to door. Maybe you did a little bit of that. But for the most part, you were like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to join and be with other like-minded business owners and join a networking group of professionals and see if there's an opportunity for me to network and get exposure for my business that way.
Exactly.
Has it been successful?
Yes, it's been, because there was a business coach. I had no idea really how, besides the trading business, I had no idea, but the business coach started telling me, okay, well, now you're in this industry, these are the steps that you have to take if you want to keep going up and up.
So in order to scale the business, you're like, okay, I can't do this myself. I don't really have a lot of experience. I'm in this networking group with other business professionals, and there's a business coach, so maybe I can lean into them. Maybe they can give me some tips and strategies and some tactics on how to scale and differentiate.
Exactly. And the most important thing was also, well, you're good at one thing, hire people. So if you're not really good at mowing, hire somebody who's going to mow. If you're not really good at laying bricks, hire somebody, look for that person. And that's how we start branching out and we start growing, because I know what I was good at it, and I know what I wasn't good at it, and that was a huge difference.
It's funny.
Start hiring people.
In my business, I've learned how to create leverage and hire staff and other people on our biz dev team, on the sales team, being realtors, of like where to identify and uncover opportunities that they're really good at that I am not, right? And there's a lot of areas where I know I'm really, really good at, and I know what I'm not really good at. And so I've had to hire just out of need, but that need really fulfilled something even bigger and allowed us to scale and grow. So really, I love that. That's a nugget right there. Create leverage, hire people to help you scale and grow. Like, that is a nugget. I was also going to say, like, you've done a really good job in your business, and we've known each other a very long time. You've done a really good job of leverage. So if you can, just tell everyone how many days, weeks, or months you take off a year not working in the business.
3 years ago, I took off 7 months.
7 months in 1 year or 7 months over 3
7 months
years?
in 1 year.
Okay.
Last year,
7 months.
7 months. Last year, 3 months. This year, I just came back to the country again, getting ready to depart again. And I think I learned that lesson to be able to, how do you say it, work on your business instead of
In
in
your
the
business.
business,
Yeah.
right?
It's a great nugget.
I started the business. My daughter was like 5 years old, I believe. She wanted to play sports. She wanted me to coach her. So I learned while I was coaching her that my phone was kept outside of the soccer field.
Say it again. So when your daughter, 5 years old, said, Dad, can you coach me and my soccer team? One of the rules was you were not going to bring your phone onto the field when you were practicing and doing stuff.
Right, because it's not really a rule. It wasn't really a rule by her, but I had parents on the sideline watching. I was not going to be. I just started a couple years in the business. I couldn't be on the phone. I was devoting my time to those kids. So I learned at that time that I have to be able to find people, manage the business. So this is 20 years later. About 5 years ago, I was starting already to think about the exit strategy, what I'm going to do, what I want to be, where I want to be. So I started this other business overseas. And that's how, I take off, but I go to not just vacation. So I'm starting a business in another place, but a business that I really like and enjoy. It's like when they ask you, if you have all the money in the world, what do you want to do? Right?
Yeah.
What do you want to be? And I still run the business from there, also the business here. But I was able to put the pieces together that the business can still run itself, even if I'm somewhere in the world, not exactly here.
Really, you were dropping some serious nuggets. So let me back up for a sec. So you got to a point in your business 5 years earlier that said, I need to start thinking about my exit strategy and my outcome. Really important as running your own business. What am I trying to accomplish? What does the exit look like? What does the future look like? What does the lifestyle look like? Ruly obviously did some soul searching. He really identified ways in his business that he could take off. Like, you've done such a good job. And then as a true entrepreneur, you said, I got this business running. It's humming. It's a landscaping business. I'm going to launch a second business, not down the road, not in your town, not in the state, but outside of the U.S. So you run two different companies, one in the U.S. and one outside the U.S.
Correct.
And one is more of your dream. The other is more of like operationally just provides cash flow, revenue, etc. Serves clients. You have employees, so there's some value there, which I think is really important. But what you've been able to do is what a true entrepreneur wants to be able to do is have multiple businesses, creating multiple streams, and being able to enjoy those businesses. Now, I will say, and I'd love to dig in a little bit, when you leave for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, you're going to be gone how long in this upcoming trip?
About almost 2 months.
2 months?
A month and 3 weeks. So I'll
Not
be
coming back.
mid-June. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so not coming back to the States, to your business here in Virginia. You may be traveling the States, but you're not physically going to be running your business, going into the office.
Not in Virginia. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So how can someone get to that point? Because as a true business owner, as a true entrepreneur, we never stop thinking about our business. We never get a chance to we may take time off, we may disconnect, we may recover, go away. Next week I'm going away to Tampa. Beth and I's 25th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Crazy, right? Side note, have you ever heard of Alan Jackson?
I haven't.
So Alan Jackson is like a country singer. One of his favorite songs is Chattahoochee. I'm not going to sing it now, but it's like one of my favorite. Chattahoochee is like ridiculous.
They want to hear you singing. So.
You definitely don't want to hear me singing, Ro. I'll tell you right now. It would be kind of cool. It would be awesome. One of my other favorite songs from him is Itty Bitty. But Alan Jackson's been in the business for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. He's doing a farewell tour. And it's one of Beth's favorite country singers. So I got my cowboy boots. I got my cowboy. I'm just kidding. I'm not wearing cowboy boots. I'm not wearing cowboy hat. But we're going to be able to disconnect, right? We're going to be able to go ahead and I'm going to be able to disconnect from the business a little bit, rest and recover a little bit, which is going to be really good. Mm-hmm. How are you able to do that with taking 2 months or 3 months off at a time? Are you disconnected from the business? Are you checking in on the business?
No, the way I can do that is because I think I mentioned a little bit before. you have to be able to put the pieces together in the right pieces in the right place. So that means your sales department, your operations department, all of them have to be able to function, right? They're not going to be functioning without me. I will be on top of them. I'm kind of like the consultant for them. I will still be checking every day where all the crews are. Thanks to technology, you can do all of those. If you leverage technology, that it's not like I'm going to be able to sleep all day long or just wake up at whatever time. No, at a certain point, I have to be able that all the crews are ready to go, that the operations manager is doing their job. So I'll still be micromanaging the business, not just from the office, not from the office, but from somewhere else. So I will be managing. I will be on top of everything, every little detail of the operations. And if any one of them need me, they know that I'm gonna be back behind them 100%.
So you've done a really good job of creating empowerment. So you empower your people. You've also, like you said, you looked at the puzzle of how to run a business, said, what person fits this piece? How can I build a system or a process that allows me to do this? And then you still hold them accountable and still be able to manage them remotely where you don't physically have to be in front of them.
Right. I got a couple guys that have been with me for 20 years. I'd seen them grow. I'd seen their families, their kids grow. I mean, they were single when they started working for us. Now they have 3 kids. Now it's just so rewarding to see that you're able to help these people. And on the other hand, they do help you. So that's a key also.
Really, it's so refreshing to hear. When I talk to business owners, a lot of them get into business to make money. A lot of them are getting into business because it's about them. You have a responsibility that when you run your business or businesses, you have a responsibility to the people that work for you, and that you're able to retain people for 20 years. That is in your business, in your line of work, very unheard of. I'm sure you deal with turnover. I'm sure you deal with different things, but for the most part, how amazing that you're able to go ahead and really keep a finger on the pulse and then grow. I also think you've done a really good job with balance and running a successful business for as long as you have. It doesn't come without challenges and troubles and hiccups and obstacles, which I'm sure you've seen financially, whatever. But you also have a fun side to you. And the fun side is you got to tell people what you do, which is this pickleball. Pickleball, everyone, when I first started pickleball, I was like, I love them. Dill, sour pickles, like anything pickles, I'm all in. Like on sandwiches. Last night I was eating bread and butter with grilled barbecue chicken. It was so awesome. And they're like, no, it's pickleball. I was like, oh, it's a ball like a pickle? Like I thought it was a ball shaped like a pickle. And they were like, no, you need to do some research. So I stopped talking and asking, started doing some research. But tell people what you do with pickleball.
Well, pickleball has become the fastest sport growing in not only North America now or in the U.S., almost everywhere in the world. It's becoming, it's a sport that is social. I think I read this about a month ago. It's even more lucrative, I would say. But, a lot of business used to be done in golf.
Yeah.
Right?
I golf. I just picked up golf a couple years ago.
Now it's pickleball. More business are done in a pickleball game or match because it's so social. The court is much smaller, 4 times less than a tennis court.
Yeah.
So you're talking all the time. Then, in a break, you're talking. So business have been done in pickleball. But going back to the question, I was a racquetball player, right? Like I mentioned, I came to the U.S. to represent it. So after 30 years of racquetball, while I was here, I got hurt and I had to rest for a year. And I was like, what am I going to do this year without playing sports? And so I learned pickleball with my left hand.
So there you go. That's something where you had a challenge, you had a setback, you had an injury with racquetball. Most people would have been like, I'm done. I'm just not going to go ahead and do anything.
Or just go to a couch for 1 year, right? Watch TV. And
you were like, I'm going to find an alternative. I want to stay active. I want to stay healthy. I want to stay just engaged. And you found pickleball. You do what with your hands?
So I switched hands. So I started pickleball with the left hand, which I'm a righty. So I
Okay.
went to play with the left hand pickleball for a year or so, and then I was like, okay, then I'm gonna go back to racquetball. No, I fell in love with the sport, and so when I had to change hands again, so I learned again the game with my right hand. So now I play with the right hand, which I was supposed to do since the beginning, but that brought me another opportunity, right? I'm in the landscaping business. I have a crews that can pour concrete. And what's a pickleball court? It's just a concrete with a net on top, of course. Yes, if you want a nice one, you have to paint it. I mean, there's now paint with cushion, so it doesn't hurt your
joints,
knees,
your knees, yeah.
your knees. So even for you, Brian, I think now if a house has a pickleball court, the value is going to go just way high. So
I thought you were gonna, when you said that, I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, your knees look really jacked and your joints are all messed up. I was gonna be like, really? You're
No.
talking about houses and real
houses,
estate.
yeah, that now are building courts. We just built 3 courts in a house in Leesburg. They wanted to put a tennis court, and then they decided to switch to pickleball. And they say, no, just instead of 1, do 3. So if we ever sell the house, then now we have they can turn it into a tennis court. But they have 3 pickleball courts in their house. So we build courts, so we can do that as well. And it's just, I think if you keep your mind doing something that you like, no work is too stressful, right? You can work 20 hours a day, 15 hours a day, 10 hours a day, but if you're looking forward, okay, I like to do that, it just, time goes by quicker, and you end up doing what you really like.
And you enjoy life. The great thing about you, Ruly, you've always done this, and I've noticed this about you, you can go ahead and have fun and be focused on work. So you pick up pickleball, you see an opportunity, you're like, what are the courts made out of? Hold on, we could do this. So you cross-sold the opportunity in your business to offer an offering that is based on a sport that's picked up so much momentum and so much exposure that you now integrate into a product offering that you could be like, hey, we can also do pickleball courts.
Exactly.
That is amazing. So I didn't know the official uniform of pickleball. Like, is there like shorts and like really short shorts and like high socks and the waistband and the headband and you got gloves? Like what? I played pickleball once. And I kept going in the kitchen and people were like, you're in the kitchen. I was like, I'm really hungry, you guys.
You have to
like,
see Joe McEnroe going in the kitchen.
Oh, people were like, get out of the kitchen. I was like, I don't even know there's a kitchen. I don't see a stove. I don't see anything. Like there is a kitchen in pickleball. And it was crazy. So what's the official uniform of pickleball?
Well, pickleball is the mix between tennis and ping pong. So basically anything you wear for a tennis match, you can wear for pickleball. It's very simple.
See, for me, I probably would wear wrist straps, like the wristbands. And I'd probably wear a headband, but like people would be like, why are you wearing a headband? You're not sweating that much. But do you,
short shorts and the tall socks.
or some, I would wear, I don't know if I wear short shorts, but I would definitely wear tall socks.
What is funny though, it's when you, especially here, right, in Northern Virginia, if you go and play, there's a lot of courts now in public parks.
Yeah.
And then you go and play on January at 10 p.m. and you see some people, it's 25, 30 degrees, and you see young people, not old people, but they're wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So I think at that point is when you really should think, okay, well, I think I need a sweater, a hoodie or something, and gloves.
So pickleball is an outdoor sport, not indoor.
Both.
It is both. Mm-hmm. And you've been playing pickleball how long?
Now it's been 4 years, right? 2 with my left, 2 with my right.
And you go to tournaments. Like you are
Yes.
competitively, you're traveling to go play in tournaments for pickleball.
Right. 2 times. Well, in my age group, I qualified twice already for the U.S. Open. 2 years ago was to go and play at the Indian Wells. So I did play in Palm Springs.
That is crazy.
And now next week, that's where I'm also going, and leaving next week is because I'll be playing at the U.S. Open in Naples, Florida. It's about 4,500 people that sign up for that. The pros are there also.
4,500 people.
4,500 from all over the world. It's huge.
Wow, that is awesome. So what's the hardest part about pickleball?
I don't think there is nothing difficult about pickleball. It's a perfect sport. Even my daughter said that if you are 65 years old and you've been a couch potato all your life, and now you decided, okay, I can still stand, grab a paddle, and make the ball over the net. So it's the perfect sport. Everybody can play. I mean, you see a lot of grandkids playing with their grandparents. They all have fun.
That's awesome. Actually, if you're going to say a challenge in your business, what would it be? What would be a challenge in your business?
I think the challenge since the beginning, even now, in networking with other business owners all over the country, I network also with other landscaping company owners, it's finding the right people, hiring. We talk a little bit about it at the beginning.
Yes.
It's a hard work. You need to be working outside 14, 16 hours a day, cold, heat, humidity, you name it, and you got to do it every day for 7 months out of a year, and then
it's hard work.
Snow removal in the so it's hard work. Finding the right people, that is a key. That's one of the most challenging parts in our industry.
I think that's true in any business. So really, I think if you find the wrong people, they become toxic, or they can disrupt the flow of your business by not showing up or coming late, or expectations with the client are you're going to get a service because you're paying for this service or this product. And then all of a sudden you have people that are not responsible enough or not being held accountable enough to be able to go ahead and serve and represent your brand as well as you need to. So I totally attest to that. I totally agree. What do you love about your business? Like, what do you love about it?
Making America beautiful again, 1 year at a time. I love to make beautiful outdoor spaces.
So anything outdoors, like if I came to your house, would there be a lot of weeds in your yard?
No.
I'm just kidding. I was totally kidding. There's probably not a lot of weeds.
If you come to my backyard, there is a pickleball court.
You put a pickleball court in your backyard?
Yes, regularly.
I love this. How awesome is that? I was going to ask you, really, for people that you've done such a good job of creating this balance and this lifestyle, someone that's working for someone else that wants to take the leap and start their own business, but they're nervous, maybe they don't have enough money, maybe they don't have the experience. Like for you didn't have the experience, right? You didn't know what you didn't know. What is one piece of advice you give someone?
If I have to do it again, I will go back to school and go into some kind of agricultural or landscape design world, or go and work for a company, for a big company, for just temporary, 6 months, learn the business. I would definitely recommend to someone that wants to go in any business, find out about it before.
That's great. Because you probably experienced these challenges and things that you didn't even know, and then you didn't even know how to attack them or solve them, and you just kind of had to figure it out. So 2 pieces of advice. One, either go to school, get certified, and really learn the business, or get on-the-job training by going to work for someone else. Bigger company, doesn't matter, but get the experience so you can really understand the flow and how the business works.
Mm-hmm.
Ruly, how do people get in touch with you? If they're like, "Ooh, we want to get in touch with Ruly," how do we do it?
Rulyscapes.com.
Rulyscapes.com. That's the easiest thing I've ever heard. And then what's a good phone number?
703-266-8179.
I love it.
But our webpage, please visit our webpage, and then you can contact through there.
Ruly, you've been awesome. Thank you so much for being on today. Like I said, you guys, one of the things that if you guys picked up anything, it's don't be afraid to take the leap. Don't be afraid to go ahead and see the opportunity that's out there and then pursue it. And then build a lifestyle that you want to have. If you think about it, listening to Ruly, he built a business that supports his lifestyle, not him working all the time to support his business. The business supports him and his lifestyle. And I think that's really big. You do not look a day over 50. Ruly, every time I see you, I'm always like, I'm going to dye my hair gray and grow a beard that's salt and pepper, and start wearing orange just so I can look younger. But you're amazing. Thank you so much for being on today.
You're welcome. No worries, but I always said when I grow up, I want to be like you. So.
Thank you. And I did not give him a 20 right before for him to say that. So it's really good.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Go.